All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go into game number 1 between Cruncher from Complexity and I Am Fenix. No, I'm not Fenix, but I Am Fenix. They're going to be pairing off on our first map. It's going to be Tal'Darim Altar. Great to see it. Of course, I love this map. It's one of the big macro maps, and I'm great that we get to see new maps come in every single week to the North American Star League. One thing I really like about this is it's going to be, you know, both these players are kind of from the North American server. I would say both of them are homegrown for North America. Fenix recently going over to Korea, performing awesome. So it's going to be almost like a breath of fresh air from Fenix. We've seen a lot of different styles coming out from him, but the main one is going to be the high aggressive, and behind that, it's a huge macro style. And this is definitely a map where it really caters to it, but you have to be a lot more precise, especially when you take your expansions, because when you expand a lot of times, it normally takes a huge amount of position, and you can really collapse and kind of, you know, domino effect and keep killing expansions. For example, you have 4 expansions in each individual corner, and it's I call them cluster expansions. So once you take out one, it's really easy to take out the other, and it makes for very, very huge positional games when you go into that end game. We'll see if Cruncher really utilize that, or even if Fenix utilize that, knowing that it's cluster expansions, you really spread them out, make sure they're all over the place. But nevertheless, we do have Cruncher in the bottom right-hand corner as the blue Protoss. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Terran Fenix. Now, a big thing about this map is going to be how you expand. A lot of times we see fast expansions coming out of the Terran just because it's so easy. We can see back in the natural over here, particularly over here at this particular choke, we can just bunker up here. We're absolutely safe. We're strong because it's a one-directional type of place. You can get a good arc coming across over here, and then your SCVs repair. So knowing that it's a pretty strong defensive map, Cruncher, we're going to look to see if he goes and how he chooses to take this expansion. Normally 2 racks play isn't too common on this map. Also Banshee play, things like that. They're not too common just because there is a pretty huge landmass, so you can stick Stalkers back here pretty easily. And even this, there's an easy place where you can stick stuff. So I'm probably going to expect some sort of gasless expand. We do see Fenix not going up for that refinery tech whatsoever. And Cruncher, I would expect him to maybe even pull off units off of gas when he gets that warp gate, when he gets that 50. But, you know, Cruncher isn't really the player that does that. He will play more of a standard type. I would expect him to just do a straight up 1 gateway, maybe 20 supply expansion, something like that. Maybe even a little bit more, maybe 26 or 27, just knowing how standard he is. Does it look like Cruncher's first probe is going to get inside and see, oh, is he going to be able to see the command center? Yes, he will. That's an instant tell. He's at 20 supply right now. I would expect him not to get any zealots. Look at that first. Oh, Cruncher, don't do it. Don't do it. All right, first probe is going to come up here, and we might be seeing a 20 supply expand. Nevertheless, we do see that he is just about approaching his cybernetics core. And warp gate should go down pretty soon after that. There we go, the 20 Nexus. Exactly what we wanted to see, of course, coming out from him. Meanwhile, Fenix is just going up to probably 3 barracks. This is the really, really standard type of play. Might see a refiner in between that. No, he's just going to go mass units. So Fenix probably going the most standard fast expansion opening that you possibly can in Terran versus Protoss. And same for Cruncher. Now, the big thing is going to be, where do both of these players go from here? And what I would say is Fenix should really try to head towards medevacs. Now, that is, of course, the oh-so standard that we normally see on maps like this, but I really feel like medevacs are highlighted on this map. And the very same reason why I said, you know, Banshees aren't as strong because units can come back here, medevacs are much stronger because of that, because now you have, you know, these minerals that are guarding you, and you have ample space to really move around either micro, zealots, things like that. It makes it very, very easy. Also, we can see it's a big spread out open map, so you can get units and displace them all over the place. The distance between over here where I would drop and over here where I would drop, over here, is quite large, so you can take advantage of that by simply dropping in multiple places. It really messes up your opponent, makes it extremely difficult to deal with. So you know, I would really love Fenix just heading over there. Now, there's a couple different ways that you can go there. Excuse me, this is going to be a 4 racks, but there's a couple different ways you can go there. One of the main ways is going it after stim, but I've seen styles where you do it before stim. What I mean by that is you don't get a tech lab. Instead, you could just go straight for the factory with the first 100 gas, and you end up getting an extremely fast starting medevac, starting 2 medevacs. You give up that stim, but in replace of that, you have amazing mobility. We do see our first little engagement going on here, and these 4 stalkers, theoretically, they should be able to be taking out all these Marines. You can see great micro coming up from Cruncher. And, ooh, he needs to be very careful. Almost lost 2 stalkers, actually. Needs to now back up. It looks like it's going to be too much. Fenix, with this 4 barracks pressure, is going to be able to do a lot in terms of spacing, but he won't. I think with these stalkers out and the warp gate finished, he won't be able to do too much. I think Cruncher did this very accurately. And I do want to mention one thing ever so quickly that Cruncher did. He actually didn't get any units until he absolutely needed to. That was that huge warp in with the 3 stalkers. Not too huge, but I like his ordering, his ordering of production facilities first, and then he gets all of the units. It really optimizes his build, and it allows him to be absolutely safe and just very dynamic, I should say. Very dynamic with his style. Very dynamic with his abilities to counter things. Fenix going for a 3rd command center. Really cool build that he's doing that we're seeing right here. He's going to have to defend up a little bit because this is, it looks like 6 stalkers, 7 stalkers over here. And Cruncher could potentially do a lot of damage. First stalkers will start up on their rounds, killing this 1 bunker. He needs back up, though. That's a lot of Marines. That's a ton of Marines. And you know what? That Marine show, instant tell. That should be an instant tell to Cruncher saying, okay, I know I'm up against at least 4 or maybe 5 barracks right now because it's just way too many Marines for 3 barracks. So Cruncher should know exactly what's happening. We can see he's sprinting over to this Colossus tech, it looks like. Actually, no, he hasn't gotten a robotics bay. But we might see a very early expansion coming out from him. But I will be very scared at this point that some sort of early game pressure is about to come. Because obviously it is going to be 4 or 5. We do see the first Warp Prism on the way. And I'm really loving Cruncher's play coming in right here. Because it's so rare that we see, you know, consistent Warp Prism play. And Cruncher over and over in the North American Star League has shown that he really favors this type of style. First SCV is just going to try to get out here and check what's going on. But you know what? I do think Cruncher needs to be careful because this incoming pressure from Mr. Fenix is going to be very hard to deal with, in my opinion, especially with the amount of units he will be making. He's already off of 4 Tech Lab barracks. And although 5 is the optimal way, keep in mind he does have this extra command center income tab showing 51 to 50. A lot of times Protoss, or most of the times Protoss has that income advantage, or at least the harvester advantage in that beginning stage because they have that chrono boost mechanic. Of course, we don't see that, and it's really because of Fenix's very fast expansion and very fast 3rd command center. Stalkers are still being placed over here. What do we have so far? Just sentries and zealots in the back. +1 attack is being researched right now. Just finished. +1 armor is going to ensue right afterwards. The first Warp Prism is coming down here. And oh my gosh, Fenix might not see that. I don't think he will be able to see it. And with no Vikings out. Oh, he went double, excuse me. But with no Vikings out, it will be hard to be able to deal with this consistently. We do see Marines and Marauders moving out a little bit. Now this Warp Prism might just be, hey, if you ever go to attack, this is going to be my counter-attacking option. But I think he, you know, little does he know, he has a huge chance to be able to do a lot of damage to his opponent. We do see that he knows that there are 2 starports. If I was Cruncher in this position, this is exactly what I want to see. And I also want to see a Templar Archives coming up pretty soon as well, because you have to sort of sidestep that double starport tech. It's very dangerous at this point in time to, you know, actually go Colossus, because you know your opponent can start massing those Vikings up so fast. Normally when you get Colossus out, it's taking advantage of that one time where, you know, the count is very low. We do see Cruncher is warping in a lot of Zealots here. And does Fenix know? Let's go ahead and go to the Fenix cam right now. He sees it, and he's going to scramble. What does he do? He's actually going to counterattack? He's not going to go back. A very interesting decision. I don't know if I like that completely by Fenix, but here we go, starting to attack on that one assimilator. That is the correct choice, but oh no, all these units are going to be way out of position. Stim goes down, force shields come up, EMPs go all over the units, but that one Colossus represents so much damage. Meanwhile, it looks like those units in the back were able to be cleaned up. The Ghost Academy does not go down. A great job done with those repairs, and Fenix able to multitask perfectly, keep his units controlled. He is looking really good. On top of that, he is pumping off of that 3 starports. I say 3 because of that 1 reactor. We're going to see a lot of Vikings coming out pretty soon. Additionally, there is more harass going down. That Warp Prism is not taken out. There it goes. Runs away, and these 4 Zealots will be cleaned up momentarily. Let's go ahead and look at the units tab right now. I'm on it. Vikings 4 to his name. Not going to be enough just yet. He does need that additional reactor, in my opinion, on that starport. What do we have? Yes, it's going to be a reactor. He will need that just to be able to hard counter that Colossus tech. But do we see a Templar Archives coming in anytime soon? No, we have, ooh, Gravatic Drive. That is going to give, for those of you that don't know what that is, let's go ahead and look at it. That's the Warp Prism speed. When's the last time you saw that, people? That is such cool play coming out from him. Now again, coming up here, taking out that 1 assimilator. Finally, it will go down. This represents a very, very big advantage coming in for Fenix. Taking out that 6 gas really represents a lot. If you think about it in percentages, you have 6 gas. If I take one of those out, that represents, you know, just about 17% of your total gas. That means literally 16 or 17% less Colossus that you have in your army. That is a lot of DPS that you're getting rid of. If it's let's say 5 Colossus, you're getting rid of almost 1. Nevertheless, Fenix is just gearing up right now. He's taking a lot of map control. Of course, all map control goes to him. I like how spread out Cruncher is right now. He's utilizing Dark Templars, which is so clever. Dark Templars are a lot of damage. Now, finally, the first Dark Templar is going to be spotted. We might have an engagement coming in right here. Vikings are going to sprint ahead. Stim goes down, and they're just going to stay there, finally cutting back. I like Fenix's play. Now spreading out, gets a nice spread on his opponent. No more units coming in from Cruncher. Cruncher's just going to get walked all over. Now move commanding up all the way in front. He's feeling really confident. Is Cruncher going to be able to take this out? A lot of medevacs here, not a lot of energy. It's really going out, and the Dark Templars saving the day. They're the ones one-shotting every Marine, able to do a lot of damage. A late scan goes in here. Finally going to be cleaned up. An even trade, in my opinion. Let's go to units lost. Exactly even, it looks like. And look at this. The counterattack is coming in. Dark Templar is being warped in. The turret is under fire right now. These Dark Templars going to do great damage. A lot of SCVs going down. And Fenix really suffering. But finally, units are going to get over here. Income tab showing 66 to 85. A huge worker advantage coming out from Cruncher. Holy crap out of all of this. But the big problem is Cruncher has not been able to reassess his map control. He just does not have the means to. It looks like he is going for this heavy upgrade style. 2-1 going down for him. Units coming from the top at that third, and now trying to focus down this 1 forge. Is he going to get it? He was so close to getting it. I think that was worthwhile just to take out that +3 attack. Looks like they both have very equal upgrades. Cruncher slightly ahead. He will have just about 30 seconds to a minute to be able to take advantage of that. Meanwhile, a planetary fortress going down in this top left place over here. This is exactly what we see from Fenix so many times. A lot of times an expansion behind all the aggression that he does, which makes him such a powerful enemy. Marines and Marauders are grouped over here. Does he have the means to stop this, actually? I don't see any Vikings around here. This can be very dangerous. Again, with the Warp Prism being so annoying, these 2 Vikings will finally start to catch this. 1 Dark Templar will warp in. He might actually just go... No, he's just going to go skirting around to the top over here. There are turrets everywhere. I really implore him not to do that. Poor Dark Templar. He's just going to come over here, start attacking his opponent. He's going to force a scan. Look at that. 2 scans go off. That represents 540 minerals worth of those mules. A really fantastic move by Cruncher. And look at this. Now he's been able to assert himself control. And I have to say, it's because of those Warp Prisms. The Warp Prisms just doing wonders for him. Vikings going to come out under here. And that's a little risky. Blink is almost finished. Archons have been merged. And here we go. We might be a force engagement coming in. pushing his opponent back. It looks like really bad position coming in from Cruncher, and now finally going to come in. Two Colossus from the right-hand side are going to swoop down underneath. These Marines and Marauders are just being focused down so fast. Look at how good that DPS is coming from this entire army. Finally, Blink is research and finish, giving complete map control now over to our good old friend Cruncher. Cruncher looking in fantastic position on this map. Tal'Darim Altar cleaning up the rest of the forces. The medevacs are the critical ones to take out. Might be bearing down on this planetary fortress. He doesn't have the means to just yet. Might have the DPS. I'm not sure completely. It's a lot of SCVs over here. Finally, oh my god, Fenix needs to start repairing that. He's not going to repair it in time, and it will go down. A brutal blow to the economy of Fenix. That's going to put him pretty far behind because that natural, it's thinning out. Look at that. Just about a minute and a half left on those minerals. The third, of course, is going to be able to go for quite a long time, but look how many barracks we have. That's 9 barracks total. That's a lot of inefficiency coming in from Fenix because he will not have the means to really produce all 9 barracks at once. With only one base, he needs to sprint over to another base ASAP. Cruncher looking in fantastic position this time around. A drop coming in the back, but Cruncher is more than capable of defending against all of this. Now another command center is going to go down here, but oh no, huge force coming in from Cruncher right now. Blinking up. This is so intelligent, just making sure he knows exactly where his opponent is. Not a lot of Vikings out here, and gives a lot of power to those Colossus. GG comes out from Fenix. He's not able to hold. And there you have it. Cruncher looking really, really strong in game number 1 between Fenix. Fenix, of course, we know he's training so hard, at least 8 hours a day in that Korean pro team house. I am. But it just looks like Cruncher, his strength in defending all of that harass that comes in from Fenix is really good. And to be honest, I felt like Fenix didn't make a fatal flaw anywhere in that match. Maybe if anything, those Dark Templars weren't dealt with accurately, and it was the Warp Prism was able to give Cruncher a little bit too much mobility. And what I mean by that is, what the Warp Prism does is draws the units either to the main or the third. And if your units are in the main and third, they're not in the middle of the map, and Cruncher is able to retain that. And a big thing about Terran play is having that mobility, having that ability to go around everywhere and be able to cope with, your opponent's army, so that you don't give way to that strength in a Protoss army attacking you, because then they can use force fields whenever they want. Their Colossus are in position, things like that. But once you reestablish control with, let's say, drops, with let's say a very mobile army, you can become a lot stronger. Your army just, those Marauders killing buildings, that's what they're really good for. Of course, Fenix wasn't able to do so. We saw very minimal drops coming down from him just because of the constant harassment that Cruncher was able to do, and Fenix's inability to deal with it with the sufficient amount of units, not sending everything over there. Cruncher really showing why he is one of North America's very best. We're going to go into game number 2 in a little bit. Everybody stay tuned. A lot of exciting action coming your way.